Many of us feel like we're stuck in a never-ending cycle of stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction, and we can't figure out why. The truth is, sometimes the habits we adopt, even without realizing it, are quietly stealing our peace and leaving us feeling overwhelmed. In this video, we'll break down these 5 mental habits and explain how they work against our inner peace. We'll explore how they develop and how you can shift your mindset to free yourself from their negative influence. By recognizing these habits and learning how to replace them with healthier mental practices, you can begin to restore your peace and tranquility, just as Allah intended for you. So, let's explore these habits in depth and uncover the keys to reclaiming your peace and serenity. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to continue exploring the beauty of Islam and self-improvement together. 1. Overthinking and worrying about the future. Overthinking and worrying about the future is a common habit that steals our peace without us even realizing it. It is easy to get caught up in imagining every possible scenario, especially when things in life seem uncertain. We start thinking about what might happen in the days, weeks, or even years to come. But here's the truth. Overthinking doesn't change anything. It only wastes our energy and causes unnecessary stress. When we overthink, we start dwelling on things we can't control. We obsess over outcomes that may never even occur. For example, we might be concerned about our jobs, relationships, health, or finances, imagining the worst-case scenarios. We create worries in our minds that might never materialize, and in doing so, we rob ourselves of the present moment. This kind of mental habit leads to anxiety, panic, and a sense of helplessness. Instead of focusing on the blessings and opportunities of today, our minds are constantly racing, trying to prepare for things that may not even happen. Overthinking also keeps us stuck in a cycle of negativity. Instead of taking action or working on solutions, we get trapped in a mental loop where we imagine endless possibilities, both good and bad. This constant cycle can lead to mental exhaustion, affecting our emotional and physical health. The anxiety caused by overthinking can even interfere with our ability to enjoy life and appreciate the present moment. We are so busy worrying about the future that we forget to live today. By focusing on the present and leaving the rest to Allah, we can break free from the cycle of overthinking. Islam teaches us the importance of being patient, content, and focused on what is in front of us. One of the most powerful ways to let go of worry is by practicing gratitude. When we focus on the blessings in our lives and take time to appreciate them, we shift our attention away from the what-ifs and towards the reality of what we have now. Allah has given us so many gifts, from our health to our families, from our abilities to the simple joys of everyday life. By remembering these blessings, we ground ourselves in the present moment. Overthinking and worrying about the future are habits that steal our peace and hinder our growth. The key to overcoming this habit is trust in Allah. We must focus on the present, take action, and surrender the rest to Him. Through patience, gratitude, and prayer, we can break free from the grip of overthinking and find the peace that comes from trusting in Allah's plan. By doing so, we can free our minds from the chains of anxiety and open our hearts to the peace that only faith and trust in Allah can bring. 2. Holding on to negative thoughts and resentment. Holding on to negative thoughts and resentment is like carrying a heavy burden that weighs down our hearts and minds. We've all experienced moments when we've been hurt or wronged by others. Perhaps someone said something unkind, betrayed our trust, or treated us unfairly. In these moments, it's easy to hold on to the pain, bitterness, and anger. But the longer we hold on to these feelings, the more we allow them to steal our peace. Resentment doesn't change the past or make us feel better. Instead, it keeps us trapped in a cycle of negative emotions. When we harbor resentment, we give power to those who have wronged us. We allow their actions to continue affecting us long after the event has passed. The person who wronged us may have moved on with their life, but we remain stuck, replaying the hurt in our minds. This ongoing emotional turmoil prevents us from finding peace and moving forward with our lives. Holding on to anger doesn't punish the other person. It punishes ourselves by keeping us emotionally tied to the past. In many cases, resentment stems from our expectations of others. We may have expected kindness, loyalty, or fairness from someone, but when those expectations are not met, we feel hurt and betrayed. However, Islam teaches us that no one is perfect, and everyone makes mistakes. Holding on to resentment can prevent us from seeing the humanity in others and the possibility of healing. Everyone, including ourselves, is in need of Allah's mercy and forgiveness. We must remind ourselves that the person who hurt us is also dealing with their own challenges, and they may not even be aware of the pain they caused. By forgiving others, we open the door to healing and peace. When we forgive, we not only release the other person from our judgment, but also free ourselves from the toxic emotions that resentment breeds. It's important to remember that forgiveness does not mean that we allow others to mistreat us. It simply means that we choose to let go of the anger and bitterness that prevent us from moving forward. We forgive for our own peace and well-being, not for the benefit of the person who hurt us. Holding on to negative thoughts and resentment only serves to steal our peace and happiness. Islam teaches us that forgiveness is not only an act of kindness towards others, but it is also a way to heal ourselves and restore inner peace. By letting go of resentment, practicing patience, and turning to Allah for help, we can free ourselves from the grip of negative emotions. Forgiveness is the key to releasing our hearts from the pain of the past and opening ourselves to the peace that Allah has promised for those who forgive. May Allah grant us the strength to forgive and the peace that comes with it. 3. Comparing yourself to others. In today's world, it's so easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. With social media, advertisements, and the constant flow of information, it can seem like everyone else is living a better life, achieving more, or succeeding faster. We start comparing our achievements, our appearance, our wealth, and even our relationships to those around us. But what happens when we compare ourselves to others? We unknowingly open the door to feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and frustration, which slowly erode our peace of mind. When we compare ourselves to others, we are often looking at only the surface of their lives. Social media, for example, shows a highlight reel of someone's life, not their struggles or their private battles. We may see someone's success or happy moments and think that they have it all figured out, but we don't see the challenges they face behind closed doors. Everyone's journey is unique, and comparing ourselves to others will never lead to contentment. Instead of celebrating our own progress, we start feeling inadequate because we think we are falling behind or not measuring up. One of the best ways to overcome the habit of comparison is by practicing gratitude. When we focus on what we are thankful for in our lives, we begin to shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of thinking about what we don't have, we start to recognize and appreciate the countless blessings Allah has already given us. From our health to our family, our opportunities, and even the small moments of joy in our daily lives, when we focus on these blessings, we feel more content and at peace. Another way to overcome comparison is to focus on our personal growth. Instead of looking at others and measuring our success against theirs, we should focus on how we can improve ourselves. We are all on different paths, and success looks different for everyone. It's not about how fast we are moving or where others are in their journey. It's about how we are growing, learning, and drawing closer to Allah. Comparing ourselves to others steals our peace because it distracts us from appreciating the blessings Allah has given us and causes us to focus on what we lack instead of what we have. Islam teaches us that each person's journey is unique and our worth is not defined by material success or external comparisons. We are all equally valuable in the eyes of Allah. By practicing gratitude, focusing on our personal growth, and remembering that our worth is measured by our faith and character, we can overcome the habit of comparison and find peace in the unique life Allah has designed for us. Fourth, perfectionism and fear of failure. Perfectionism and the fear of failure are two powerful habits that can quietly rob us of our peace. Many of us strive for perfection in everything we do, from our work and studies to our appearance and relationships. While it is natural to want to do our best and achieve success, the constant pursuit of perfection can become a source of anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction. In our quest for flawlessness, we often set unrealistically high expectations for ourselves, and when we inevitably fall short of those expectations, we feel disappointed, anxious, or even defeated. This cycle can prevent us from enjoying the process of growth and learning, and it steals our peace of mind. The fear of failure is closely tied to perfectionism. When we fear failure, we become paralyzed by the thought that we may not succeed. This fear prevents us from taking risks, trying new things, or pursuing our dreams. We start to see failure as something to be avoided at all costs, rather than as a natural part of the learning process. This can lead to procrastination, missed opportunities, and a constant sense of unease. Perfectionism often arises from an unhealthy fear of judgment. We worry about what others will think of us, and this fear of being judged can prevent us from taking action. We may delay starting a project or pursuing a goal because we are afraid of making mistakes or not being able to achieve the perfect outcome. This constant concern for external approval can cause immense stress and anxiety, leaving us feeling overwhelmed and trapped. Perfectionism and the fear of failure are habits that quietly steal our peace by causing anxiety, self-doubt, and stress. Islam teaches us that success and failure are part of Allah's plan, and that we should focus on doing our best with sincerity rather than seeking perfection or fearing judgment. By trusting in Allah's wisdom, learning from our experiences, and embracing the process of growth, we can let go of these habits and find peace in our efforts, knowing that Allah is always with us. When we let go of perfectionism and fear, we open ourselves to the beauty of the journey and the peace that comes with trusting in Allah's plan. 5. Lack of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that has the ability to transform our lives and bring us peace. However, many of us fall into the habit of focusing on what we don't have rather than what we do. We become fixated on our desires, comparing ourselves to others, and wishing for more. This habit of ingratitude steals our peace and prevents us from appreciating the countless blessings that Allah has already given us. We forget to acknowledge the little things in life, and as a result, we become consumed by dissatisfaction and a constant yearning for more. When we lack gratitude, we take the blessings of Allah for granted. We might wake up each day, but we don't truly appreciate the gift of life. We might have a roof over our heads, but we complain about the size or condition of our home. We might be blessed with good health, but we focus on the minor aches and pains. The more we focus on what's missing in our lives, the less we are able to appreciate what's right in front of us. This lack of gratitude creates an inner void that can only be filled by recognizing and being thankful for the countless blessings Allah has given us. A lack of gratitude can also lead to negative feelings, such as envy, dissatisfaction, and even depression. When we are ungrateful, we start comparing ourselves to others, wishing that we had what they have. We may look at someone's wealth, beauty, or success and feel resentful or envious. This constant comparison steals our peace and clouds our ability to see the beauty in our own lives. Instead of being content with what Allah has given us, we focus on what others have, which only leads to frustration and unhappiness. One of the most powerful ways to practice gratitude is by acknowledging Allah's blessings regularly through supplication and reflection. Every day, we should take time to thank Allah for the countless gifts we have received, both big and small. We can thank Him for the gift of life, health, family, friends, sustenance, and guidance. The more we practice gratitude, the more we will begin to notice the many blessings that we often overlook. Gratitude also strengthens our connection with Allah. When we express our thanks to Allah, we acknowledge His sovereignty and recognize that everything we have is a gift from Him. This act of thankfulness brings us closer to Allah and increases our awareness of His mercy and generosity. One of the most beautiful aspects of gratitude is its ability to bring peace to our hearts. When we focus on what we are thankful for, we shift our attention away from what we lack. We stop dwelling on the things that make us unhappy and instead start to see the many gifts that surround us. This shift in perspective helps us to find peace and contentment, no matter our circumstances. A lack of gratitude is a habit that steals our peace by causing us to focus on what we don't have instead of appreciating what we do. Islam teaches us that gratitude is not only a way to acknowledge Allah's blessings, but also a means of inviting more blessings into our lives. By practicing gratitude regularly, we shift our mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, allowing us to find peace in the many gifts Allah has already given us. Gratitude helps us stop comparing ourselves to others, strengthens our connection with Allah, and brings us closer to the inner peace that comes from contentment. When we cultivate gratitude in our hearts, we unlock the key to a peaceful and fulfilled life. As we've explored today, these 5 mental habits may seem small, but they have a profound impact on our peace of mind. By becoming aware of them and taking steps to shift our thinking, we can truly embrace the inner calm and contentment that Allah wants for us. Remember, peace isn't something we find outside. It begins within, through the thoughts we choose and the mindset we cultivate. By practicing gratitude, letting go of negativity, and focusing on our own journey without comparison, we can create a life full of peace, joy, and fulfillment. So, take a moment to reflect, adjust your habits, and make space for the peace that Allah has promised us. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Let's continue this journey towards peace and self-improvement together.